Just allow your body to be heavy. Allow it to relax. Close your eyes and just settle in. And just begin to breathe in and out through your nose. And with the lips closed, try to maintain a relaxed jaw. Let your whole body be heavy. And just let it start to sink downwards into your mat, into the floor. Heavy through the limbs. Letting go of the morning that's already passed by. Letting go of whatever thoughts linger in your mind as you come to this place of stillness. As you begin to really elongate the breath, drawing that breath down into the belly, feel the belly rise, the rib cage expand, and the collarbones gently lift. And then as you exhale, the collarbones begin to settle, the ribs regather, and the navel comes back towards the spine. Just letting your inhales flow into your exhales, flowing back into the inhales. Trying to make each breath just a little deeper, just a little longer than the one before. Now the breath rate you've established, try to keep it with you throughout your practice. Letting it be your guide, your teacher. When you struggle to breathe, that's your cue to perhaps back off. If the mind is wandering too much, perhaps that's your cue to push a little deeper in the pose. Challenge yourself a little more physically so that the mind doesn't wander. And then wiggling your fingers and wiggling your toes, begin to bring movement back to the body. Start to bring the movement up into the wrist and ankle. Let your head begin to turn slowly from side to side. And as your head rolls to center and your legs slide together, point your toes, reach your arms over your head, and take a long, deep breath in, stretch everything out, and as you exhale, release the arms down to your sides. Walk your feet towards you. Draw your knees into your chest, hug them in with your hands, and just rock a little bit from side to side across the back. Good, and as you roll back to center, go ahead and set your feet back down on the ground, heels close to the buttocks, hands reaching for the heels as the fingers spread wide. Adjust your feet so that there's not more than 2 of your own fist distance width in between those heels. So your feet aren't at the outer edge of the body wide, but they're at the kind of width of the hip bones themselves. And then tucking the tailbone under on an inhale, lift your hips slowly off the ground. As you exhale, come back down towards the mat. Inhaling and the hips rise, push into your palms, and exhale, we lower the hips back down. And just continue moving with your breath, pressing your palms flat, spreading your fingers wide. Pressing down into those feet, especially rooting through the inside edges of the feet. Next time you inhale, lift the hips up, hold at the top. Try not to splay the knees, just to get the hips higher. The knees stay over the ankles. Chest beginning to lift and press slightly towards that chin. Keeping the neck long. Good, take another inhale, lift those hips up even higher, and as you exhale, slowly lower your upper back, mid back, and low back down. Let the knees float into the chest. Take the knees really wide as you reach for them and just rock a little bit from side to side with wide knees. Notice how it changes the sensation in your low back. Good, as you roll back to center, let your legs come together as you flex your feet. Take your arms either to a T or into cactus, depending on your proximity to the wall beside you. Take a full deep breath in, and on your exhale, let both your knees melt over to the right as you turn your head to the left. Try to keep that left shoulder resting heavy on your yoga mat as your feet settle gently down to the ground. Palms can face the ceiling or the floor. Hands a little lower than the shoulders, encouraging the shoulders to come down and away from the ears. Try to relax those feet down. And just breathe into that low back. Good, as you press into the arms, flexing the feet on the inhale, come back up through center, and as you exhale, take your legs to the left, turn your head to the right, and relax. Keep that right shoulder down on the ground as best you can. Palms again can face up or down. Close your eyes and just breathe in and out through your nose. The lips are closed, the jaw is relaxed, the breath is very full. Listen to the sound of your inhale and the sound of your exhale. Pressing down into those arms as you re-engage the legs. On an inhale, let your head and your knees come up slowly. Reach for the knees with your hands. Keep your knees together this time as you rock from side to side. And again, notice the subtle difference. Maybe you don't go quite so far over to the side with the knees together. Try to let your head move freely with your torso. Good, roll over onto your right side, press into your left palm, start to make your way up. And then come onto your hands and your knees, making your way into table pose. Stacking your shoulders over your wrists, bringing the knees directly underneath the hips or the sitting bones. Spread your fingers out as wide as you can. Lifting through the low belly, pressing the space between the shoulder blades up towards the ceiling. We inhale, begin to dip the belly down as the tailbone begins to lift, the chin begins to lift, and we look up. Exhale, draw the tailbone down as you tuck the chin and slowly round the back. Inhaling to come back into cow, make that U shape with your spine. And exhale, slowly round out into your cat. Maybe even working with the eyes closed as you move back and forth, going just a little further each time you come into the pose. Waking up the spine. And really starting to synchronize the body's movement with the breath. So it takes the entire inhale to come into cow and the entire exhale to get into that furthest place in cat. One more inhale. And one more full exhale. And come back to your table. Slide your hands forward an inch or two further. Curl your toes under and press up and back into downward facing dog. And as you lift to downward dog, start to walk those heels up and down a few times. Try to let your head just hang heavy. Press each heel one last time. And then press both heels down at the same time. And as you press the heels gently down, let your hips just sway a little bit from side to side. And as your hips sway back to that center position and the big toes are still slightly turned in, inhale, rise onto the toes, lifting the hips up really high. Push your chest way back and lower your heels towards the ground. Try to keep the head relaxed. Inhale again up onto the toes and the hips lift up. Don't lift the head. Push the chest back and press the heels gently down. One more time we inhale, float up onto the toes. Chest is pressing back as the hips lift up high and then lower the heels back down towards the ground. Good. Inhale up onto your toes. Soften the knees as you look at your hands and begin to walk your feet all the way up to the space between your hands. And as you come to the top of your mat, you're going to inhale, look forward, lengthening the spine. And on the exhale, fold chest to thighs, chin, nose, then forehead, draw in. Inhale to a flat back. Give a little squeeze between the shoulder blades. Exhale and fold. Try to hinge from those hips. And one more time, inhale, flat back. Heart moves forward away from navel, and as you exhale, fold the chest down. Let the head just hang. You can make this active or it can be passive. Your choice, your practice. How do your hamstrings feel this morning? Try to let your toes take just as much weight as your heels. Take another deep breath in, and on your exhale, reach for the floor with your hands if you're not already. Keeping your right foot where it is, take a big step back with your left foot. Stay on the ball of the foot, walk your right foot a little further out to the right, and start to wiggle your left foot all the way back behind you. So you're in that low, deep runner's lunge, bending your right knee over your right ankle. Try to keep that right hand on the outside edge of that right foot so the heels of your hands are in line with the heel of the foot. Lifting the chest gently off the thigh. Stay up on the back toes here. Pull your left hip forward, shift the right hip back. Take another full breath in, and on your exhale, lower your left knee and untuck your left toes. Now right hand to the right knee as you inhale, left arm sweeps up and look up. And then try to melt your hips down towards the ground. Wait for your next inhale and let the right arm come up. Palms are facing one another, shoulders are relaxed and down away from the ears. Keep sinking those hips down towards the ground, opening up the front of the left hip. Take another inhale, really extend up as you reach back, and then exhale, let your hands come back down, curl your left toes under, and take your left foot back up to the top of your mat, folding over your legs. And again, the heels and the toes equally bear the weight. The head is heavy. Take another deep breath in, and as you exhale, reach for the earth again. Left foot is going to stay where it is, and we're going to just step the right foot back. So stay on the back toes, wiggle that right foot back as far as it'll go. Walk the left foot a little further out to the left. Come into your low runner's lunge to start. Left hip is pulling back, right hip is coming forward. Try to draw the shoulders down, away from your ears. Keep pressing that right leg as straight as you can. Go ahead, take another full inhale, and on your exhale, set your right knee down, untuck the toes, left hand to the left knee, inhale, right arm reaches up. Look up as you melt the hips down. Relax the shoulders down and away from the ears, and on your next inhale, let your left arm come all the way up. As you exhale, relax both shoulders down. Keep sinking the hips down as you lift the heart up towards the ceiling. Keep that left knee bent deeply, right over top of the ankle. Take another inhale, really reach up, stretch it back, and exhale, lower the hands down. So this time as we plant both palms, we're gonna curl the right toes under, pick up the right knee, and now bring the left foot back to join the right and press up and back to a down dog. Lifting those hips high, pressing the heels gently down. Try to let your head just hang heavy. Draw the shoulders back away from the ears. Inhale onto the toes, soft knees, look forward, and bring your feet all the way up to your hands. Inhale, flat back, long spine, gaze forward, and exhale, fold, try to hinge from the hips. Inhale, circle the arms up as you press firmly through the feet, look up. Palms come together, exhale, bring your hands to your heart, take an inhale. Exhale completely. Inhale, reach the arms up and look up. Exhale, reach forward, unfold, coming all the way down. Inhale, come up to that flat back, gaze out in front of you, and then plant your hands on the earth and step back to the top of a push-up. So in your plank pose, your shoulders are over your wrists, you're on your toes or on your knees, tailbone is tucked, and the low belly is lifted. Try to really grip with those fingerprints. Press the floor away from you. Puffing up the upper back just a little bit as you inhale. Look slightly forward. Keep the shoulders forward as you start to lower with control. And then sending the chin forward, we untuck the toes and lift through the back of the head, and we end up in cobra. Tops of the feet are heavy, but the kneecaps have pulled away from the ground. Take another inhale, come up just a little higher, curl your toes under, press up and back to downward dog, and relax the head down. Spread those fingers out as wide as you can. Take up space with those hands. Inhale, lift your right leg slowly up behind you. As your right foot leaves the ground, flex the foot and spread the toes. Keep the toes and the kneecap pointing down to the earth. Try to keep those hips level with each other. And breathe. See if you can inhale that right leg just a little higher. Exhale, take a big step forward with that right foot. Plant your left foot on a 45-degree angle now, stepping the foot in if necessary, and then inhale, sweep the arms forward and come all the way up, looking up. Try to pull the right hip back as you shift the left hip forward. Bend that right knee over the right ankle as you press that left leg as straight as you can. Shoulders are relaxed and down. Go ahead, take another inhale, really extend up, stretch back a little bit as you exhale, lower your hands down, come onto your back toes, push off the left foot, and as you inhale, lift the left leg up towards the ceiling, and as you exhale, begin to bow your chest a little closer to your right thigh, relax your head, see those left toes behind you, make sure they're still pointing down to the ground as you spread them out. Try to keep that breath very slow, very steady. Inhale that left leg just a little higher, and then take a big step back with the left foot. Plant both your palms, and just step back to your downward dog. Lift the hips up. Press the chest back as you push the heels down. So as you push the floor away from you through both hands, try to keep pulling the shoulders gently back away from the ears as well. Inhale at your left leg, float up slowly. The foot flexes as it leaves the ground, the toes point down, the kneecap points down to the ground. Try to keep both your arms strong and straight. Good. Breathe. Slow, steady breathing. Inhale that left leg just a little higher, and then a big step forward with the left foot. Bring the right foot a little closer, plant it on a 45, and when you're ready, inhale, let your arms float forward and all the way up as you look up. So as you glue that right heel down, try to draw that right hip forward, try to shift that left hip back. Press the outer edge of that right foot down, and as you bend your left knee over your left ankle, look up a little bit. Straighten your arms. Relax the shoulders down, away from the ears. The eyes can be closed, the eyes can be open with a steady gaze. Take another inhale, really reach up, maybe stretch back a bit as you exhale, lower your hands down to either side of your left foot, come onto your right toes, bending the right knee, inhale, lifting that right leg up, and bow over that left leg. Relax your head. Use the strength of the arms to pull yourself down a little further if you can. Keep flexing that right foot. Point your toes down to the ground. Push out through that heel. So get that right leg as straight as possible. Chin is tucked, back of the neck is long. Take another inhale, lift that right leg up even higher, and then a big step back with the right foot. Plant both your palms flat on your mat and step back to downward dog. Hips to the sky. Try to keep both palms flat to your yoga mat as you step the foot back, so you're not putting too much weight into one wrist or the other. Make sure the space between your thumbs is big enough for both your feet to fit there in between those hands. Try to slow the breathing down. Try to control the flow of air with those muscles in the throat. Good. Inhale onto the toes, soft knees, look forward, and exhale, bring your feet all the way up to your hands. And then inhale, just come up to a flat back, long spine, looking forward, and exhale, fold over those legs. Hold here, breathe. Keep the head heavy, just let it hang so the back of the neck is long. Gravity doing some work here for you, gently pulling on the head, helping to lengthen your spine. Pressing through the feet, bring the arms beside the ears, soft knees as you inhale, reach forward, and all the way up. Palms come together, bring your hands to your heart. Inhale deeply. Exhale completely. Inhale, reach the arms up as you look forward and take a side bend to your right as you exhale. Inhale, come through center. And exhale, lean to your left. Inhale, back up, reach up, look up, and lean back as you exhale, open the heart. Inhale to the top, reach up, and then soft knees, reach forward as you fold and come all the way down. Inhale, look out in front of you, long spine. Plant your palms, and with the exhale, step back to the top of a push-up. And again, modifying if needed. Listen to your body. Listen to your breath. Try to quiet the mind. Good. As you inhale, look slightly forward. Shoulders stay forward as you begin to lower with control. Let your forehead come down, let your toes untuck, and stretch your arms out in front of you. Rise up onto your fingerprints, hands at a shoulder distance width. And now inhale, send the chin forward as you lift through the back of the head. If you have issues with the neck, don't lift the chin, just extend the crown. See if you can lift the right leg and the left fingerprints up off the floor, stretching the toes back as the fingers reach forward. So you're either looking down or looking forward. Take another inhale, lift the limbs a little higher, and then lower the fingerprints and the top of the foot. Left leg, right hand. Stretch it out. You're trying to go for length more than height. Make sure you can still breathe. Take another inhale, lift those limbs a little higher, and then lower the fingerprints, the top of the foot, the forehead down. Slide your hands next to your chest. In slow motion, push up to those knees, and then bring your big toes together as you sit the hips to the heels. Relax the chest and the head down. And if your forehead touches the ground, sweep the arms back alongside the legs and let the palms face up to the sky. And just breathe here in child's pose. Gravity pulling the hips towards the heels. Feel that stretch through the back. Good, and as you sweep the hands forward, once again, crawl them as far forward as they'll go. Look forward and then pull yourself up to the hands and knees. Hands crawl forward a little bit more as you tuck the toes and press back to a downward dog. Good, as you inhale, lift the right leg up behind you, and as you exhale, take a big step forward with the right foot. Walk your hands around to the left. Back up on your mat if you need to give yourself a little more space. We have tighter quarters when we're inside. Pigeon toeing the feet as you inhale, look out in front of you. Keep half the weight in the toes. As you plant the palms, start to walk your hands back. Keeping your hands at a shoulder distance width. Keep your elbows at a shoulder distance width. And as you keep half the weight in the toes, start to use the strength of your arms to pull yourself down. Shoulders come back and away from the ears. Can the hands walk back just a little bit further? Your entire palm is flat on the ground as you walk the hands back. Good, as you inhale, begin to lift through the back of the head, walking the hands forward till you're on your fingerprints, looking forward, little bend to the knees now, hands to the hips. Inhale, rise to standing, and turn your right toes out. Keeping your hips facing the left wall, keeping your chest facing the left wall, keep that right big toe turned slightly in as you bring your arms to a T. Look down that right arm, begin to reach out over that right leg, and then we tip into our triangle as the right hand comes down, the left hand comes up. Can you look at your left thumb? Press into that right big toe and that inner right heel. Try not to bend your right leg. Press the whole outer edge of your left foot firmly down. Keep extending out through the crown. Take another deep breath in, and with the exhale, look down to your right big toe, and inhale, float up. Arms back out to a T. Turn your right toes in. Turn your left toes out. Keeping those left toes pointing straight back. As you inhale, start to reach out over that left leg. Make sure your right foot started in a slightly pigeon-toed position, and then you're tipping into your triangle, left hand coming down as the right hand lifts up. Tuck the tail, draw the low belly in. Press into that left big toe and that inner left heel. If it hurts the neck at all, to look at your right thumb, you're looking either out to the right or down to that left big toe. Balance the weight evenly between those two legs. Take one more deep breath in, reach those right fingers a little higher as you exhale, look down to your left big toe. Inhale and come all the way up. Left toes turn in. Widen your stance. Right toes turn out. Now lining up your right heel with the arch of your left foot, bend your right knee over your right ankle. Make sure you can see your big toe peeking out just on the inside edge of that right knee, and then reach back a little through those left fingers as you look down your right arm. Lift through the crown of the head and draw the shoulders down and away from the ears. Sit those hips a little deeper if you can. Hug the muscles of the upper arms in a little closer to the bone. Take another inhale, really stretch across the arms. Exhale, sit just a little deeper, and then inhale, straighten the leg as you turn the right toes in. Pivot and turn the left toes out. Heel to arch alignment as you bend left knee now over left ankle. Look down, make sure you can see your left big toe on the inside edge of that left knee. And now pull back slightly through those right fingerprints and look down that left arm. And breathe. So try not to lean over your left leg. Keep your shoulders over your hips. Relax the shoulders, but engage those upper arms. Take another deep breath in, stretch across the arms as you exhale, sit just a little deeper. And now inhale, straighten the left leg, turn the left toes in, turn the right toes out. Let's place the hands down on the mat and step back into a downward facing dog, lifting your hips to the sky, pressing those heels gently down. Let those hips sway side to side. Nice and slow. And then let those hips make their way back to center. Take another full breath in, and on your exhale, lower your knees. Keep your hands at shoulder distance. Lower your elbows to the floor so you're on your forearms with your elbows behind your wrists. Palms are flat still. Relax your head, tuck your toes, press back to a downward dog position, but on your forearms. And then walk your feet back, let your shoulders come forward over your elbows so you're in plank but on your forearms. And if you need to modify, simply set the knees down. Keep the tail tucked and the belly lifted. So don't lift the hips too high. Take another inhale, lower the knees if they're not already, lower the belly, widen the elbows as you stack your palms, lie on your left ear, and let your big toes touch as your heels fall apart. Separate your feet to hip distance, toes point straight back behind you, lifting your head off your hands. Start to lift the head and the chest up so you can come on your forearms into Sphinx pose. So the forearms are parallel just as they were in the last couple of poses that we did. If having your elbows under your shoulders are causing your shoulders to hunch up around your ears, bring your hands forward a little more. Try to lengthen the spine. Don't let your shoulders hunch. Close your eyes as you lift through the crown of the head. Stretch those toes back, pull the chest forward through those upper arms. Continually working to elongate your spine here. Slow the breathing down. As your breath slows down, your heart rate slows down. Take one last deep breath in. Exhale, widen the elbows. You can lower your chest, stack your palms, lay on your right ear, big toes together, heels fall apart. Wiggle those hips side to side. And then relax the hips. And placing your forehead on your mat as your ankles come together, your hands are beside your chest now. Nice and slow, press up to the knees. Take it all the way back into child's pose, bringing your knees as wide as your mat is, big toes together. Let your hips sink back to your heels. So we're trying to get our hips down before we even lower our chest down. So once the hips have come down as far as they'll go, we'll relax onto our forearms and our elbows. We'll relax the head and let it hang, making sure your big toes are touching. Maybe those knees can spread a little further apart if your hips will allow it. Focusing on your breath. Letting everything else go. Good. As you inhale, lift the head and slowly come up onto your palms. And you're all going to turn towards the windows facing the river, and you're going to open your knees up wide. And as you open your knees up wide, you're also going to open your ankles as wide as your knees are. Toes are going to point out to the side, keeping your hips in line with your knees. Relax down onto your forearms. So you're trying to crawl those hands forward a little bit. If you want to back up on your mat, Candy, you can a little bit. Just so you have a little bit more room. You're okay, you're not in anybody's way. So let the hips come forward. Let the feet flex. Let the inner thighs melt down towards the ground. Relax your head, but keep the low belly lifted in our frog. So the tailbone is just slightly tucked here. So don't let your low back sway. Good. Try to find a steady place in the pose now as you breathe through the discomfort, the tension, the tightness. Maybe those knees can go just a little bit wider apart. Imagine the flexibility you would need that would allow your inner thighs to touch the ground, getting those knees so wide apart. Breathing into those tight hips. Tension and tightness in the hips, connected to tension and tightness in the low back as well. Good. As you inhale, lift the head, press into the forearms, and then slowly transition back up to your palms. Let your big toes come together. Start to let your hips fall back towards your heels and let your knees point straight towards those windows still. Sitting back on those heels, sit over to one side so you can take a comfortable seat facing the river still. Take that wide stance with those legs. Good, so legs wide. Feet flexed and active. Press out through the heels. Draw the shoulders back over the hips and draw the ears back over those shoulders. Lifting through the crown of your head. Try to keep your toes pointing straight up to the ceiling as your hands now come in between your thighs. Inhaling, lifting through the crown, and as you exhale, start to crawl your fingers forward, letting your chest come through the upper arms as you do this. So don't let your hands get too far out in front of you. We're trying to pull the chest through the upper arms, dragging the heart forward. Keep those toes pointing straight up to the ceiling. Feel that stretch through the back of the legs. Feel that stretch through those inner thighs. Keep your hands at a shoulder distance. And now we're gripping with the hands, pulling that chest just a little further forward before relaxing the chin down toward the chest. Close your eyes. Breathe through your nose. Good, as you inhale, lift the chin. As you exhale, press into those hands. Inhale, walk those hands back in. Keep your right leg where it is. Bend your left knee and bring your left foot to your inner right thigh. Try to keep that nice open stance still with those legs. Right hand to the inside edge of your right leg, just in front of your left foot. Walk your left hand around behind you, angled out from the hip, and look down that left arm. Turning your left palm out now on an inhale, sweep the left arm all the way up to the ceiling, and then take the left arm over the left ear as you start to walk your right hand down the inside edge of that right leg. Keep your right palm connected to the ground. How far down can you walk that hand? Is your elbow getting close to the floor? Using your hand or your forearm to really draw that right shoulder forward now. Roll the left shoulder back. Can you look up towards the ceiling on the inside edge of that left arm? Stretching out the side of the body. Keep flexing your right foot. Good. On your next inhale, start to come up. Right hand slides in, the left arm reaches up. Turn the left palm out and just circle the left arm down. Good, so let's take our left leg back out and bring our right leg in. Left hand to the inside edge of the left leg. We're using that hand to help draw the left shoulder forward now as we walk the right hand around. Angle it out from that right hip and look down that right arm. Beautiful. Turn your right palm out now. And inhale, sweep the right arm up. And all the way over the ear, start to walk your left hand now down the inside edge of the left leg, keeping your palm flat on your mat or the floor. Maybe you're coming down so low that the elbow is getting close to the floor. Use that hand or forearm as leverage to roll the left shoulder forward and try to roll the right shoulder back. Can you look up in front of that right arm? Or maybe out in front of the right arm if you can't look up. Keep working to spiral your chest, open to the right. On your next inhale, left hand slides in as the right arm reaches high, turn your right palm out and circle the right arm down. Good. Let's bring the right leg out and the left leg out, turning back to face the top of your yoga mat. Remove the flesh out from underneath those sitting bones. Pull all 10 toes back towards you. Draw the shoulders back over the hips, draw the ears back over the shoulders, and now inhale, sweep the arms all the way up. And exhale, lean your heart towards your toes. Relax the arms all the way down. Bend your elbows, either gripping the outer edges of the feet, the big toes, the ankles, the calves, close to the knees. What can you grab with a bent arm? Now pulling that low belly gently back, drag the heart a little further through those upper arms and start to relax the head all the way down. Close your eyes. Breathe deeply. And as you push out through the heels, the toes pull back, intensifying the stretch through the back of the legs. Slow the breathing down. Slow the heart rate down. Slow down the fluctuations of the mind. Inhale, lift the chin. Exhale, extend the arms. Inhale, reach all the way up. And as you exhale, release the arms down. Make your way onto your back with your feet at the top of your mat. And as you lie down on the back, stretch the arms over the head, toes reaching forward, fingers reaching back. Take another inhale and lengthen the body. Exhale, arms to the sides. Draw the knees into the chest. Hugging them in with your hands, just rocking from side to side across your back. Roll back to center. Option 1, arms down, legs up. Option 2, legs and arms up. Option 3 is shoulders stand. Taking your body into some form of an inversion, whether you're just inverting the legs and the arms, or the legs and the torso. And once you get into the pose, try to breathe there, very slow, very steady. Letting that blood drain from those feet and legs, maybe even torso, maybe hands and arms. Try to make the inhale just as long as the exhale. Take another full inhale. Those of you in shoulder stand, exhale into your plow. Those of you in legs up can go legs wide if you'd like, and you can use your hands to open those legs up even wider. If you're coming into plow and your feet have not touched the ground behind the back of the head, the hands remain on the back to support it. If your feet are touching the ground, your palms can touch the ground as well. Just here for 2 more breaths. Take another deep breath in. Those of you in plow, let your palms come to the ground and start to roll your upper back down to the ground. Keep your head on the floor. Those of you that went legs wide can go legs back together. So we're all gonna meet in the same position. You'll bring your arms down at your sides. If you're using a yoga block underneath the low back, you're gonna remove it. So the arms are hugging the sides of the body, palms pressing into the earth, legs extend straight up to the sky as you push out through the heels. Take a deep breath in and begin to lower your legs towards the ground, but push your heels away from you as you lower those legs. Keep pressing those heels forward as the legs descend, and once those heels touch down, walk your feet towards your buttocks, planting your heels in front of your sitting bones. Flattening that low back towards the ground. On an inhale, take it up into bridge. Make sure that your feet are at a hip distance stance and the feet aren't touching. So Patty, bring your feet a little bit closer together again. Good. 2 fists between the heels. Hands can come even closer together if it's possible. Keep the big toes turned in just a little bit. Some of you may be clasping the hands to climb up higher onto the triceps and shoulders. Some of you might even be working into your wheel. Your practice, your body. Keeping everything safe. Good, take another deep breath in, lift everything a little higher, and then make your way out of the pose safely, whether it's bridge or wheel. Once the low back touches down, you can let your knees come very loosely to your chest. And as you rock a little bit from side to side, use that motion to massage your low back, relaxing it. Come back to center, bring your arms either to a T and to cactus, depending on your proximity to the wall. Press your palms down and walk your hands just a little bit lower than your shoulders. Take a deep breath in. Exhale, let your knees come to the right as you turn your head to the left, relaxing your feet before your left shoulder lifts. Take a couple deep breaths here. So maybe the ankles and the knees are stacking, maybe the left foot's just behind the right foot. Maybe you can even draw your knees at this point a little closer to your chest or to your right arm. Maybe you'd like to add the weight of the right arm to the outside of that left knee, deepening the stretch. Find your edge. Try to relax that left shoulder down, let your upper back stay very heavy. Good. Let both your hands or arms come back to the ground. Press into those arms as you flex your feet. Inhale, let your head and your knees come up slowly. And as you exhale, transition to the other side. Relaxing your feet. Palms can be up or down. Take a couple deep breaths before you go any further. Give your body time to acclimatize, time to adjust. That right shoulder is heavy on the ground. The feet are relaxed and on the ground. Maybe the ankles and knees stack. Maybe the right foot is just behind the left foot. Maybe at this point you can squeeze your knees a little closer to your chest or to your left arm. Maybe you're adding the weight of the left hand or arm to the outside of that right leg. Focusing here on your breath. Letting everything else go. The need for perfection, the need to judge yourself or others, let it go. Just be in your body, be in the pose. What is your body able to do today? Because it's different from day to day and practice to practice. So be patient, but persistent, kind and loving, yet firm, so that your practice is constantly evolving and changing. But if you have days where you can't go as far, don't get frustrated, don't get angry, don't push past your edge. Yoga really helping us to cultivate that sense of self-awareness, so we're safe when we practice. Take another full breath in. Completing that exhale as the arms come down, we really press into them now, flexing the feet, inhale back through center, reaching for your knees with your hands, taking those knees really wide and then pointing the soles of the feet up to the sky. As you reach through the legs for the shins or the ankles or the toes or the feet, try not to lift the low back off the ground as you come into your happy baby. So try to stack the ankle right over top of the knee without lifting the low back. So point the soles of your feet towards the ceiling. Open your ankles as wide as your knees are wide. And then use the strength of the arms to draw gently down on those legs wherever you're gripping, pulling the knees towards the floor without lifting the low back off the ground. Take another deep breath in, and as you exhale, draw those knees down to their furthest, and then release whatever grip you had. Draw your knees into your chest and wrap the arms around the legs. Inhale, forehead to knees. Exhale, start to squeeze yourself into a tight little ball. Take one last inhale, and we hold the breath, scrunching up the face, the scalp, shoulders, the whole body engaging one last time, and then we release the effort and make ourselves ready for Shavasana. Maybe you're good just as you are. Heels to the edges of the mat, let the feet relax and fall out to the sides. So taking those ankles wider than those hips. And then taking those hands wider than the shoulders, your arms and your legs relatively on the same diagonal lines with one another. Palms are facing up to the ceiling as the shoulder blades tuck gently underneath you. Tuck the chin, create a little length at the back of the neck. Start to relax your throat here and let your breath become quieter. Let your breath start to return back to a more natural state. Pointing your toes, flexing your feet, pressing into your heels, lifting your hips. And as you lift your hips, engage your buttocks. Squeezing the buttocks, make fists with the hands. Start to draw every muscle in the face towards the tip of your nose and take one more inhale, squeeze, and relax the whole body. And take rest here. Moving from that fourth limb of yoga, asana, to pratyahara, that withdrawal of the senses. So rather than focusing on what's happening around us, we start to focus on what's happening within. Allowing the mind to become still and watchful. Become that silent observer now as you take rest. Take rest. Relax. Relax. to draw a deeper breath back in through the nose. As you exhale, let it all go and begin to wiggle your fingers and your toes. Start to circle the wrists and ankles slowly as you roll the head from side to side. Rolling the head back through center, let your legs slide together. Point your toes and reach the arms over the head. Take a long, deep breath in, stretch the body out, and then relax the arms down to the sides, walking the feet towards you, drawing the knees into the chest, hugging them in one last time as you rock side to side. Rolling onto your right side and pausing and noticing how you feel. Thanking yourself for taking this time in your day to be here on your mat. And send a silent thank you out to those who joined you in this space this morning. Thank you for allowing me to share these teachings of yoga with you. Press into your left palm and your right elbow and very slowly begin to make your way up to seated. Really slow. Transitioning to that comfortable cross-legged seat with the ears over the shoulders and the shoulders over the hips, the hands then join together at the heart. And we bow the chin toward the chest. Ending our practice this morning with the chanting of Om one time. Join me if you like. Take a deep breath in. The divine light within me graciously, humbly acknowledges that same divine light within you. Namaste. Thanks, everybody.